Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter from history, that is how, when, and where. How, when, and where. There was a time historians were fascinated with the days. There was heated debates about the days. The history is connected with the days. You may heard some of them are saying history is a boring subject. History is boring because it is very difficult to memorize the dates, events, all these things. Is it true? Do you feel like that? Can you memorize your date of birth? Do you remember your date of birth? Yes. How you remember your date of birth? Because it is connected with the you. Because the date of birth is, our date of birth is important for us. That is why if it is connected with us, it is easy to memorize. So likewise, we can memorize all these incidents in our history very easily because it is connect if we connect with us. So the history is an easy subject to study. It's an interesting subject to study. So all these things are connected with the dates. History is certainly about the changes over the time. When we compare the past and present, we use the terms before and after. What are the terms? Before and after. These terms we use. Which are the terms? Before and after we use. So when we whatever the questions we ask, these questions are connected to the history. That is historical. The historical question means when we sip a cup of tea or coffee, we think when they invent this tea or coffee, that's connected to history. When we travel long distance, we ask some questions. When they used many years ago, how they travel long distances, that is also connected with the history. We can't say a particular day or date when they started to use this tea or coffee, when they started to travel long distances, or this particular day or date we can't fix. Similarly, we can't fix a date when the national movement started, when the British rule started in our country. We can't fix a day or date. Consider an example. The history is written by British historians. The rule of each Governor General was important. It was started by first Governor General Warren Hastings. Who's it? Warren Hastings. And ended with last Viceroy, Lord Mountbatten. Lord started by Warren Hastings and ended with Lord Mountbatten. In between, number of Governor Generals came in power. Their deeds, their work, what they done here, all this we can study in different chapters. In between, there is Warren Hastings, William Henry Hastings, that is Lawrence, Lytton, Ripon, number of Governor Generals came in power. All their deeds we can study in separate chapters. So when we write history or the story, it is divided into number of chapters. Likewise, we can study in our textbook their deeds, the work of these Governor Generals in separate chapters. These 10 chapters are there in our history that we can study in our textbook. That is this year's textbook, that is history. How do we periodize history? There is the year of 1817 as 1817. A Scottish economist and political philosopher, his name James Mill, he published a massive volume of 3 volumes that is a history of British India. There he divided history into three. That is Hindu, Muslim and British. This periodization was widely accepted. But which are they? The 1870, that's the exam point of view, you have to study. That is 1870. Who was the person? As James Mill, a Scottish economist and political philosopher, published a massive volume of work, that is a history of, what's the book's name? A history of British India. There he mentioned, he divided history into three. This Hindu, Muslim and British. Which are they? Hindu, Muslim and Hindu, Muslim. This is the periodization of James Mill. Who was James Mill? James Mill was a Scottish economist and political philosopher. In the 1870, he published a book named A History of British India. His periodization was the Indian history is Hindu, Muslim and British. This periodization was widely accepted. All Asian societies were lower level of civilization than Europe. So during that period, the number of Hindu and Muslim depots ruled in our country. Number of different problems existed in our country, that is caste taboos, then superstitious ideas existed in our country. So only the way to improve civilize our country is to introduce European way of life, European culture, European style of learning, that is European laws introduced in our country. So that period, before this British period, they described as darkness. Before the era of British, they described this period as darkness. All Asian societies were lower level of civilization than Europe. So during that period, the number of Hindu and Muslim depots ruled in our country. Number of different problems existed in our country, that is caste taboos, then superstitious ideas existed in our country. So only the way to improve civilize our country is to introduce European way of life, European culture, European style of learning, that is European laws introduced in our country. So that period, before this British period, they described as darkness. Before the era of British, they described this period as darkness. Your last year's book you studied, during the time of Hindu rulers, number of Muslim rulers also ruled in our country. Then we can study the modern historians classification, periodization. Modern historians periodization. How they periodize in the history means they are the ancient, medieval and modern. So it is that we borrowed from the West. Which are the classification? Ancient, medieval and modern. This is the modern historians classification of history. Means the modern historians classification. Which are the ancient, medieval and modern. The James Mill periodization, Hindu, Muslim and British. This we borrowed from the West. So this classification we can see number of changes we can see. Lot of changes in our country. That is British came here. Then British ruled that time. The Indians, they don't have any other, they did not enjoy any other freedom or equality, liberty, all these things. So that period we can describe as colonial period. That period we can describe as colonial. This is colonial period. The Indians don't have any other freedom or liberty, equality. There won't be any economic growth. So that period we can call as colonial period. British rule, that we can call as colonial period. Then we have to study one of the process, colonization. What is mean colonization? You heard the word colonization? Colonization means subjugation of one country by another. It leads to number of changes, that is social, economic, political, cultural changes. That process we can call as colonial period, that colonization. Colonization, that's the process is known as colonization. How do we know about this period? Do you know? There is different types of sources are there. Which are the different types of sources that you already studied? There is archaeological sources are there, literary sources are there, that's manuscript, that's inscriptions. All these are the different types of sources to know about the past. Number of years ago, the historian started to write his history on the basis of the sources. The administration produce records. The administrative records are there. The British, they give more importance to preserve these records. That is the reason many years ago they maintained the record rooms. Mainly archives, museum they maintain to keep all these records. Why they keep all these records? For the convenience, for the sake of convenience, for the administrative purpose, they maintain these record rooms. So, with early 19th century, all these records, they maintained all these records that was copied by calligraphists. Who copied all this? Calligraphists. Who is known as calligraphist? The person who is having beautiful handwriting is known as calligraphist. That was, all these records were copied by the calligraphist. That's the Tehsildar office, the Panchayat office, they maintain record. Now you can't see all this record. Now everything is in the form of feeder in the computer. But it is easy now. But that time everything written and copied by these people. So that we maintain a record room, that we can see the almost all these government offices, we can see the record room. Everything they maintain for the sake of and for the convenience or for the administrative purpose, they maintain all these things. The practice of surveys became common under colonial administration for effective administration. For what purpose they did the survey? For the effective administration. Different type, to find out the topography, soil type, then the flora, fauna, all this they took the survey. The end of the 19th century census operation they had, the 10 years duration, means the end of the 19th century census. Why they took the census? To find out the total population of a country. Means not only that, there is to find out the total number of males, females, children, adults, infants. All this we get from the census report. So do you know which year we took the last census? That is 2011. Next census 2021. For what purpose they took all this? For the effective administration of the country. Different types of surveys they had. You heard about the botanical survey, zoological survey, archaeological survey. These are the different types of surveys. Then we can study about what the official records do not tell us. That is, what the officials thought, that only they write. What they were interested, the perspective of the country, all these things, what they were interested, that only they recorded. They never mentioned the life of the poor people, the ordinary people, or the people those who are working in mines, then the tribal people, they never mentioned. But number of problems the ordinary people face under British rule, that we can study in our coming chapters. What are the problems the people face under British rule, we can study in detail in the coming chapters, that in our book History. Listen students, I'll read two sources to find out whatever the differences you can find out in the source 1 and source 2. Listen carefully. The source 1 reports to the Home Department. In 1946, the colonial government in India was trying to put down a mutiny that broke out on the ships of the Royal Indian Navy. Here is a sample of the kind of reports the Home Department got from different dockyards. Bombay, arrangements have been made for the army to take over ships and establishment Royal Navy ships are remaining outside the harbour. Karachi, 301 mutineers are under arrest and a few more strongly suspected are to be arrested. All establishments are under military guard. In Visakhapatnam, the position is completely under control and no violence has occurred. Military guards have been placed on ships and establishments. No further troubles is expected except that a few men may refuse to work. That's source 1. Then source 2, not fit for human consumption. Newspapers provide accounts of the movements in different parts of the country. Here is a report of police strike in 1946. More than 2,000 policemen in Delhi refused to take their food on Thursday morning as a protest against their low salaries and the bad quality of food supplied to them from the police line's kitchen. As the news spread to the other police station, the men there also refused to take food. One of the strikers said, the food supplied to us from the police line's kitchen is not fit for human consumption. Even cattle would not eat the chapatis and dal which we have to eat. That's the condition of ordinary people. Means even even cattle would not eat the chapatis and dal which we have to eat. So two sources. Then do you find any differences in the nature of reporting? Just to find out the differences and write it in your rough book. That is the differences you note down in your rough book. Okay, thank you.